Hi, I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Hillary.
And we're the Feral Housewives. Welcome back, welcome back, fellow Feral Housewives.
We are here today to talk about ways to make time for yourself.
Which is very difficult.
It is. But first, we will tell you about our feral moments of the week. So you go ahead and tell yours first this time.
Okay.
Because I went first last week.
Oh, you keep track?
Not always. But I remember because I didn't have one for like a few weeks. And then
Sure you did. Oh, yes,
one.
and you were all excited.
Yes.
I still don't remember you. Like, it never occurred to me to keep track. Anyway, so I had a few feral moments of the week. So, this one is for Hank and Tommy. And a couple days ago, it was raining because it's fall. Anyway, so the boys were outside and they were being really, really quiet. And I was like, oh, good, they're having fun. And then Kit comes in. I'm like, what are the boys doing? And she's like, they're playing in the hole. And I was like, oh, what hole? And she's like, the water hole. And then I go out and look, and Hank had dug a hole. Like, there was a hole under the trampoline. I think Rosie started digging it first, and then Hank like kept digging it. And so it had filled with water from the rain, and Hank was in his underwear in the hole, and Tommy was in his diaper in the hole with them, which only, I mean, like, they were basically like standing like, you know, compressed against each other, and it was only like up to their like knees. But it was really, really funny. I was like, what are you doing? And Hank's like, we're swimming. And I'm like, it's like 50 degrees outside with the rain. Anyway, so
that's so cute.
That was.
Did you get a picture?
No, because it was raining. Like, it was cold. I was really concerned about them. And
Aww.
So yeah,
I would have taken a picture and then I'd have brought him in.
Yeah, no, I just brought him in. And then Hank was like, they were like visibly like shaking.
No.
Anyway, then they came in and Hank's like, I'm so cold. I don't know why. And I'm like, because you're standing in your underwear in the rain in 50 degrees. Anyway, I'm like, where are your clothes? Like, I don't know people who like just take off their clothes in the backyard. Like, I go out my backyard and there's clothes. And I'm like, what in the heck? Why are there clothes? And Hank's like, oh, I took off my clothes out here. Why? Like, anyway, so
man.
Good thing we have trees all the way around our like property. And a fence.
Yes, that is a good
So
thing.
they can't get out in their, you know, underwear. But I took Tommy in for his child checkup. The doctor's like, how does he, like, asking, like, all these developmental things. And he's like, is he able to, like, put on clothes or take off, like, articles of clothes? And Ryan was with me, and he was like, he can take off everything, even his diaper. And Tommy looks at the doctor, and he's, like, smiling, and he starts taking off his shirt. He's like, no, it's fine, Tommy. Like, I just want to make sure that you know, have... He's like, you don't need to take off. It's like, you shouldn't take your clothes off if someone asks you to. And Tommy's like, But, yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, man. Yeah, you didn't tell me that story yet. That's awesome.
I saved it.
I do that sometimes when I have a really good feral moment.
Yeah. I was just like, are you freaking kidding me? Then they had hot chocolate.
That's fun. So my feral moment of the week, it was like two different incidences with Mercedes. The first one, they're like the same thing, but two different incidences, or 2 times this week. The first time we went to go to the post office, and I had to go pick up a package that got delivered to our old house, and I had to go pick it up at the post office down there. They intercepted it, and we went to go pick it up. Well, we go in there, and it was cold out because it's fall, and she had some beanie on, and then we were going to, I swear that, it was Monday, because Monday was tap, and then Friday was rehearsal, because the other one was rehearsal. So Monday we went to go down there, and she was in her leotard with like shorts on, and it's freezing cold outside, and then she's wearing like sandals, like with them, and then we go inside, but she's got like socks on her hands for mittens, and then she's got this beanie on her head, and then she's like goes into the place, but she pulls the beanie down over her face like a robber almost. And she's like walking in like with her hands out because she can't see where she's walking, and she's like trying to get into the building.
You're like, whose child is this? Not mine.
And we get in there and I'm like, oh my goodness. And she's like holding on to me because she can't see where she's going. And then I'm talking to the woman trying to get the package, and she's standing there and she just keeps dabbing with her stupid like beanie and dancing, and she keeps doing the dab move, and like
you're like, this child is not with me.
I was like, I don't know who this kid is.
You're like, she gets this from her father's side of the family.
For real. She was, oh my goodness, it was hilarious and also slightly embarrassing. I'm like, she's like half dressed for winter and half dressed for summer. I don't know. And then on Friday we went to go to the rehearsal at dance, and same thing, she had to wear her leotard to go to dance, which is fine. And I was like, and she had pants on over it, I think. No, she didn't. She had shorts. She's like her dad like that. So she had shorts and leotard, and then I was like, okay, get some shoes on to go. And I was like, oh crap, like your hair has to be up for rehearsal. So she put her hair in a ponytail, and then Sean taught her how to tie a bow in her hair with a doggy poop bag. And I'm in the car, and she's like, oh, I need to go get a hair tie. So she runs inside to get a hair tie, comes back out with a doggy poop bag and a hair tie, and she like pulls her hair back up. It's already in a ponytail, but pulls it up, puts it in a bun, and then she like takes the poop bag and ties it into a bow on her hair. And I was like, oh my goodness.
Did you take a picture?
I did.
I want to see a picture.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh.
And I took a picture of her dabbing in her like stupid, ridiculous
so
outfit.
Funny.
Oh my goodness. And then like we get there and we get out of the car, and she freaking has one shoe is a slide sandal, like the Nike slides, and then the other shoe is like a sparkle bow flip-flop thong shoe sandal. And I'm like, what is wrong with this picture, child? And Kit was with us, and she's like, she's your kid. And remember last time when we came and she took a face mask and tied around her knee and pretended she was Betty White? And I was like, you know what? I do remember that.
Her and Hank are so much alike, because Hank always wears two different shoes. And Adam's like, you cannot wear a cowboy boot and a flip-flop. And Hank's like, why? Adam's like, because they're two different shoes. And he's like, and?
I know. I'm like, isn't it uncomfortable? Like one goes above the foot, and
no,
the
drive
other
me
one
nuts.
is like in between the toes. Like,
I can't even like wear two different kinds of socks because it drives me nuts.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then we leave when rehearsal was over too. I was like, okay, let's go. And I was like, oh, your hair fell out. And I was like, where's your poop bag bow? And she's like, oh, must have fell out on the floor. And she's like, and I was like, oh my goodness.
I will never forget when Kit and her, this was last year, maybe the year before, and she told Kit, which I think Kit dresses really cute. Like, Kit's very like conscious about how she dresses. Yeah. Not necessarily about like what's in fashion quotations, but like she has her style.
Yeah.
And Mercedes told her she had dressed fancy enough. And Kit was like, what does that mean? And she's like, you have to dress like me, Kit. And then she puts like one hand on her behind her head and one hand on her hip. And she's like, I'm a fashionista girl. And she's like shaking her hips. And she's like wearing like high heels and sweatpants and this like shirt that's like 3 times too big. And like, you just like rolled your eyes and you're like, you're wearing sweatpants to school. You're not a fashionista girl. And it had like holes in it. I mean, like,
I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, she's got her own sense of style. I love it.
I love amazing, it too. I love her ramen outfit.
Yeah, it's super cute.
I just will never forget that. Like with her hand behind her head and on her hips, like, I'm a fashionista girl. And you're like, you have holes in your sweatpants.
Yeah, she's pretty funny.
I mean, Kit's the same way. Like, she does not, like, she went to gymnastics tonight and she was wearing a leotard. And I was like, it's cold. Like, it was cold today.
Yeah.
And it's like pouring rain, like super cold rain. I'm like, you need to put shoes on. So she goes and she puts her shoes on, her Evie shoes. And then she had shorts on, and I'm like, you need a jacket. And so then we're walking out the door, and I look over, and I'm like, that's not a jacket. She's like, it's a shirt. I'm like, it's a short sleeve, like one of those athletic shirts that's like, you know, has the holes in it. And she's like, I mean, it covers me more than my Leo. And I'm like, get in the car. And I mean, honestly, we get in the car, and then if she wears it, she's just gonna take her sweatshirt off in the car, and then it's gonna stay in there forever and get dirty.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep.
The pain My mom was always like, I don't know how parents can, like, I don't know how parents can let their kids go in the cold without a coat. Then I gave birth to my children.
Yeah. I'll go to my mom's and she's like, why don't these children have coats on? And I'm like, they're in the car.
Because they don't want them.
And I was like, if I come here and they don't have them, at least in the car, I'm going to get grief from you. So at least have them in the car because they won't keep them on their bodies.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's not like we live in a very cold area.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just wet.
It's wet.
Yeah.
They'll wear sweatshirts, my kids.
Yeah.
And raincoats. Kids will wear a raincoat.
Yeah. Mercedes is like Sean, where she is like flipped. When it's cold out, she would like wear shorts and tank tops. And when it's warm out, she wears pants. I'm like, what the heck?
Kit just prefers to wear shorts all the time.
Yeah. Edwin's like me. He's more logical and wears normal clothes for the right weather.
Yeah. I mean, Hank likes to wear pajamas all the time. I
would too.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
He's like, we're like going somewhere. I'm like, you have to change. I like these clothes. I'm like, they're pajamas. I like my night clothes. Or I'm like, you need to put clothes on.
He's like,
I'm wearing clothes.
What's your point?
Like, those are pajamas. He's like, these are night clothes. I'm like, but it's day. He's like, I don't want to wear day clothes today. He's like, they're clean pajamas. So, yeah.
All right. So, we'll move on to our topic. How to make time for yourself and time with your husband for dates and time for your husband to have time with his friends or whatnot as well. So I don't know about you, but I know Sean is really, really good, at least for me, with trying to make sure like I'm able to get out and go see my friends because I don't get to go out super often with my girlfriends and like do girl nights or things like that. Just because we're busy all the time anyways. So when like Cammie or a friend is able to come up and somebody is able to go out and do something, like when we went and did our girls night the last few weeks with Rochelle and stuff, like he was like, yeah, go do it. Like he's all for it. He's like, you know what? You don't get to go do it very often. Go do it. Like I'll take care of the kids, like just, so we try to make a point to go and do that. But, and he doesn't really go out either. Like he's never leaves the house because he works from home and we only have the one car right now. And he's an introvert, basically. He doesn't like to leave. He would stay home all the time if he could. He doesn't grocery shop very often. I do all that stuff. And so he has friends he plays with online, like that he's known forever and stuff. But he doesn't actually go see people very often, except like Adam and Jacob now. So whenever he's like invited to go out and do something, I try to be like, yes, go get out of the house and go do it, because he doesn't get that. So
Adam is very good at making sure I get time for myself. So before, like pre-COVID, I used to have like a once a month girls' night. It was me and my friend Nikki, and then we always invited other people, but we went on weeknights because honestly, like I want to spend time with Adam on the weekends. And so that's when we went, and like we would invite people, and a lot of people were like, and people would come on and off, but a lot of people were also like, what? We don't want to we have to put our kids to bed. I don't know. Like one of our friends was like, well, I mean, I'm not going to leave my kids home with my husband on a school night. I'm like, why? Like, so yeah. So Adam has never been like, Adam is not like, oh yeah, I'll watch the kids. Because they're his kids, you know? So I'm always like, yeah, let me talk to Adam and see if that'll work. Only because it's like common courtesy, but I hate it when people are like, well, I have to talk to my husband, see if he'll babysit the kids. No, he can't babysit the kids because they're his dang kids.
Exactly. I hate that term too when people say that.
Yeah. And to me, that's something that you should like, when you're dating someone, you should find out like, what your idea, because if one person is like, oh, you're going to be in charge of the kids,
all of it. And
if you're married to someone who says that they have to babysit the kids, like if one partner's not there, like that's bad. I mean, it's different if it's like a joke in passing, but so yeah. I struggle with during the day. I get very overwhelmed sometimes, and like I have a hard time like making time for myself throughout the day and to do things like that I find relaxing or would want to do, you know? Like I love writing, and I never get to write because I have a hard time like carving a chunk out of the day where I can be like, okay, now is my like 20 minutes to sit down and write or read or do something like that, you know? That's like what I struggle more with.
I don't do that either. Like during the day, I don't really do that. I mean, because I like to crochet, and I feel like with the crocheting, I'm able to do that like at the school or something when like when they're in between classes for fourth block or something. I'll be like, hey, I'm going to go sit out here, and I'll go sit out there for that one block, and I'll kind of just chill and do my own thing. But if we're at home, like I have a harder time because they're constantly like wanting to be with me or wanting to sit with me or wanting me to play this with them or wanting me to do that. Or I'll feel bad because I'm like, I have so many other things I should be doing or this or that. And I'm like, I should be going through these boxes over here that are staring at me.
Right. Like
instead of sitting here crocheting or sitting here writing.
I should be folding laundry or I should be doing this. Or, I mean, like sometimes it feels like I can't even go to the bathroom. You know? Like the other day, I gave the kids breakfast. I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And I sit down and I'm like, my kids start screaming. I'm like, knock it off. And then they start fighting more and more and more and more. And finally I'm out of the bathroom. I'm like, I can't even poop without you guys fighting.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, just go. I'm like, no, like it's just anyway. And so it's like and that to me is like more frustrating because I feel like I do get to go out and like we had a girls' night a couple weeks ago, and I guess it had been a while, but like I struggle more with like finding time to like for me to do things on a regular basis, which sounds selfish. I feel like I have a hard time like carving out like time during the day where I can just like have a few like 10-15 minutes where just I have, you know, like because I have some friends who get up super early. And that's their time. Well, Hank gets up at 6:30, so I don't know how much earlier I can get up than that. Like,
I have friends that get up super early too, and they're like, "Oh, I get up at like 5 or 6 a.m. and then I spend like 2 hours on my own doing what I want." And I'm like, one, I'm not about to get up that early, and two, I'm not about to get up that early.
I'm like having alone time in my dreams at that point. But and like then I do stay up later, but I'm so tired. I don't do anything I want to do. I'm just like sitting, vegging on the couch, watching like Sister Wives. I mean, like trashy TV, you know, and playing a game on my phone. Like there's nothing like I'm doing nothing that's fulfilling in my life. So the other day, I like actually had some extra time and I was like, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. And then I spent so long trying to figure out what to do that my kids, it ended up not happening. But, so that's like one thing. Like, and so then I'm like, okay, maybe all of our listeners are like, well, maybe if you were on a schedule and not so feral, but yeah, like, I don't know. I just think that, and that's something like for me in my stage, I feel like I need like a quiet moment somehow.
Well, and I think for you, it's a little harder because you still have littles at home.
Yeah.
For me, it's a slight bit easier because sometimes if I'm feeling super overwhelmed, I will tell my kids, I'll be like, hey, I need like 20 minutes alone.
Right.
And I will go lock myself in my bedroom.
And they're not going to die.
No. And I will tell Sean, plus he's home. So he works from home. So I'll be like, hey, I need 20 minutes. I'm going to go lock myself in here. And he'll be like, okay. And they will typically leave me alone. And then I will sit in there and then I'll hear them yell, Papa! And they'll be fighting or whatever. And I'll just roll my eyes and sigh. But, and then I'll come out and it's like half destroyed in the living room. But I had my 20 minutes. And I get to spend like 20 minutes to an hour cleaning up the mess. But
the other day, it was a Saturday, and I was getting ready to get in the shower. And like my kids are like banging on the door trying to ask me a question. And finally I was like, you have another parent. Go ask him. And Kit's like, who, Dad? And I was like, yes, Dad. She's like, I don't think he knows the answer. And he's like, I probably know the answer. Like, I hear him in the background. She's like, I don't know if he'll know. I will know. She's like, Mom, I need you. And finally, he's like, get over here. I'll answer your question. I was like, what was it? He's like, I don't know, something dumb about cereal. Like, I knew the answer. He's like, I'm not that out of touch.
Oh, man.
But so it's just interesting, like, I don't know, sometimes true, he'll like answer them and I feel like they're like, I don't know, is it the right answer, Dad? But yeah, Adam is like very, very like, he's not a distant dad. Like he's very like aware of the needs of our children and our family, my needs. He's not, you know, obtuse to anything, and he's very present in our daily lives. But he does go to work. But I mean, when he's home, like he comes home and he's with us. Yeah. And so it's funny because sometimes my kids are like, I don't know if Dad would know that. I'm like, I don't know why you think he wouldn't know that. But I know that some parents are that way. Like there's one parent who's very present and the other one is kind of like this distant omnipresence that is sometimes there, but not really like,
I don't know, my kids will be like, want to ask me something about dinner, cooking, or food or something. I'm like, I'll just go ask Papa. Even though I'm here all the time and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I could answer the question for you, but you know what? If it's a cooking thing, you can go ask him. Go for it.
Now, if my kids get hurt, they don't want to ask me. They want their dad to reassure them. And if I'm like, no, you're fine. And if Adam's at work, can you call Dad at work and ask him if my leg is broken? Clearly your leg is not broken. You're standing here and you're talking to me and you're not crying. I don't know. You might not know, but Dad will know for sure. So, I mean, it is interesting. Like they do, like Adam really is like very reassuring. But like if it's something about like running the house. Now, that being said, when Adam and I first were married, and we had just moved to here, and we were living in an apartment. And Adam worked a lot back then because he was like training and he was really slow at his job. And so I did all of the household chores because I only had Kid at home. You know, Ryan wasn't even living with us then. He was still in Mass with his mom. And every day Adam would come home from work and be like, where are the towels again? I'm like, the same place they were yesterday. The next, where are the towels again? I'm like, oh my gosh. And then he kind of left and he's like, but you like it, right? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, if you died, I wouldn't even know where the bath towels are. And I'm like, I mean, when you put it that way, sure, you'd miss me when you had to get in the shower. He's like, no, I'd miss you for a lot more reasons than that. But he's like, but like, you know, it was kind of nice to like, you know,
be needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we've been married 10 years and I'd be like, what do you mean you don't know where the bath towels are?
They're on the laundry couch. Go fold them.
Go dive. I actually got my laundry couch all cleared, and that man did a buttload of laundry because he was off all the weekend, and then today he did a buttload of laundry. And I came home from kids' gymnastics, and my laundry couch is full, and I can't even see over the top of it.
Oh man, that's how it was when I came home from Disneyland.
This was in 2 days. Anyway, I was like, what in the heck? And he's like, we have lots of clean laundry now. I love him so much.
I pushed all my laundry aside that I'm sitting next to right now.
Sure you are. We should take a picture of it.
No, I'm good. I don't need more evidence.
So that's my thing, is that like it's hard for me to find time throughout the day. And I'm not talking about like I need 2 hours every day to myself, but like, and I do get quiet time when Adam comes home, you know, like we put the kids to bed. That's one of the reasons our kids have a bedtime, because I need that downtime. But like sometimes during the day, there's so much noise and so much ruckus. I'm like, I need a few minutes of quiet. And I've realized that like all of the noise bothers me. And I read a thing and it was talking about sensory overload in moms. And I didn't realize that like I get like sensory overload. Like everything is loud. Everyone's calling my name. People are touching me.
I didn't really get that, I think, until I think I got older like recently, maybe in the last 2 or 3 years. Because now that I'm older, I'm just like, dude, I need you guys to just back it up a bit.
Yeah. My kids are like sticky and they're touching me and there's just, there's stuff on the floor. And I'm just like, I can't like.
Yeah.
And so I finally realized that I need to step back and take a break. And so sometimes when I get really upset and frustrated, I'm like, I'll be right back. And I go and I sit in my room for like 5 minutes, stare at my phone, whatever. And then I come back and I'm like, okay, let's talk now.
Yeah.
But that's something I've realized about myself is that I get very like antsy. And, so yeah. And there was a new revelation to me not too long ago.
Mine is like, especially with Edwin, he'll like climb on me. And he's older now. He's going to be 7 and he's like, I don't know. It's like the weight on me. He like will lay on me or like when not just snuggle, but like he'll lay on me and the weight on me is just like really heavy.
And they're like hot.
Yeah. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I just need you to get off of me right now, please. Because it's just too much. I just can't handle the weight on me right now. It's too much. But
Edwin came up behind me the other day and he was like standing right there with like his face like right next to my ear and he's like and I'm like, can you please step back? And he like steps back a little. I'm like, I'm sorry, can you please take 10 steps back? And he's like, oh, okay. But he's very like, he likes to sit right
cool.
next to you. Like,
yeah.
So he's so funny.
This morning they woke me up by laying on me and wiggling and going, I'm Benny Worm, and wiggling like worms to wake me up.
Hank right now is like, it's 6:30. Everyone get up. And I'm like, it's 6:30 in the morning. Go to bed. He's like, but the sun is out. And I'm like, I don't give a crap. Like, anyway.
Yuck. No, thank you.
So yeah, I can kind of get him in my bed and then he'll watch TV for a little bit. But still. I don't want to be up at 6:30.
No, I'm glad I'm past that phase.
Yeah. And I have some friends who are like, well, I mean, that's the time of life here and you should just get up. And I'm like, I don't want to get up. I want to sleep until at least 7:30.
Yeah.
That's my goal in life.
Yeah. Yeah. I stay up late anyways, but I usually like put the kids to bed and that's usually my time with Sean. We'll get to hang out and stuff. But he has like 2 nights a week where he hangs out with his friends online each week. So he spends time with them. So those 2 nights I usually we'll either record one night and then the other night I will go and I'll spend like time on my own and I will try to like make time to do something I want to do and like watch my shows that I want to watch that he hates or, or crochet or do some project or something. So I do try to kind of schedule that, and make time for that. And then, I don't know, we don't really actually go on dates very often, which we need to do more dates frequently. We really do. But one, it's expensive because everything is so expensive.
It's expensive.
And I mean, and you don't have to spend a ton of money to go on dates. You could just like go for a drive or whatever. Or like, I feel like that's kind of what we do during the week is we have a date in our room. Like we'll watch a show and that's our date is we just watch our show together because it's cheap. And my parents live relatively close, so they can watch the kids for us. So that's not a big deal, but it's still really expensive to even just go to McDonald's or go to Taco Bell or something. Just the two of us and grab something to eat and talk in the car or something, And,
right. Adam and I used to be so good about date night. This was pre-COVID as well. And I don't know if it's COVID or the fact that we had Hank and then Tommy 2 years later. And like my diabetes, like everything just kind of imploded at once. Yeah. But we used to go out twice a month. And then, and we'd go to like dinner and a movie. And then the other one we'd go to this church, function thing. And then the other 2 nights we would stay at home and we would do dinner and like watch a movie or something. Or we'd have like, we'd invite couples over to do game nights and stuff. And I always really, really enjoyed that. But we've just never gotten back to that as regularly, which we really, really need to. And now that Tommy's getting older, it feels like it's something that's more doable. But like, there's always something, especially now, like Ryan, he's 16. There's so much going on with him. We don't want to pay for a babysitter. But we've also gotten to the point that, like, if Ryan goes somewhere, and I was the oldest child, and I never wanted, and I don't remember my parents doing it a lot. But they'd be like, oh no, we really need you to babysit, like this night. And, I don't remember them doing it a lot. I think my sister Brittany remembers them doing it more, but, I never wanted, I had friends who were like that. They're like, oh, I can't go. I have to babysit my brother and sister. And so I never wanted to like be that parent. So, I mean, I just feel like it's more important for him to have a social life at this point, right? Like he didn't procreate 4 times, like, I don't know. So yeah, so we try and let him go out as often as he can. But like there was one time where we're like, nope, we have a scheduled date. We need you to babysit this night. And then like 3 nights later, it's like, so-and-so's doing this. And we're like, we already told you, like, this is on the calendar. We can't just change it. But 99% of the time, if he has something to do, we let him do it. So yeah, but it is like we put the little kids to bed. We watch a movie together. We do something and just to spend quality time. Yeah. But so yeah, I don't know. It's hard though. And like, I have a hard time coming up with like dates to do because everything's so expensive.
It really is.
And I was like, I just want to hang out with you. And I'm like, good. But like, shouldn't we do? But Adam and I have a lot of fun together. Like, Adam and I have never had issues having fun. Like, even when we just go out to dinner, like, we have a lot of fun. We laugh really hard. We do. He got a table saw today. Someone gave to us, one of my friends. And we went and picked it up, and we were laughing so hard on the way home. Like, Adam and I laugh really. We have a lot of fun. Adam is funny. I'm fun. Like, it's just fun. Like, so there's that aspect that we don't really need a big fancy date to have fun together.
Yeah. I think that's why it works too for us here at home because same thing. Like, we do stupid crap. Like, we play charades as noodles. Like, where we were like, okay, you have to guess what noodle I am. Like, it was only noodles and it was charades. Like, yeah, we call this stupid crap like that. Like, yeah.
Adam is, I mean, like, I don't even remember what he said. He just says the funniest things sometimes. But like the other day, he was like, came out, it was the day after Halloween, and he had like one of the kids' like candy buckets on his head. There was like still candy in it. And he's like walking around and he's like, oh, rah, 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 rah. And I was laughing so hard. But Kit said to me one day, I always knew that my parents loved each other and still love each other. They were affectionate. They were, they would kiss, which I thought was totally gross as a child. And they would flirt with each other. And so I just always knew that they loved each other. And I was very, very comfortable in that fact. And I always wanted my kids to know that I loved their dad. That was one of my goals. And Adam and I fight. My parents didn't fight in front of us ever. And Adam and I fight. I mean, not like abusively fight, but we do fight. And our kids do see us. Because when I got married, the first time Adam and I had a disagreement, I thought we were going to get divorced because my parents never fought. And my mom was like, that's not true. We fought in private. And she's like, because we never wanted you guys to see that. And so I felt like I had a skewed vision of how marriage, I thought my parents had this perfect marriage. And to have a perfect marriage, you never had to fight. Anyway, and so, like, our kids have seen us fight, and our kids have also heard us say, you know what? Like, they've heard us apologize to each other. And I've told my kids before that sometimes the people who you love the most make you the angriest. I'm not saying we have, like, screaming matches where we sit there and scream at each other in front of our kids. But we have arguments. We have disagreements. Yeah. But Kit said to me the other day, she's like, Mom, I hope when I get married that I'm as happy as you and Dad and that I love my husband as much as you love Dad. And I was like, oh, how do you know I love Dad? And she's like, because whenever he gets home, you get super happy to see him. She's like, or is it because you're so tired of us? was thinking to myself, well, a little of both. But like, and I realized, and she told me, she's like, you're the happiest when dad is with us. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like that is true. Yeah. Like, I am happiest when Adam is around. Not that all my happiness lies in him.
No.
But he makes me happy.
He brings out a happier.
Yeah.
You. Yeah. That's so cute.
Or an angrier me.
That's cute that she can recognize that. Yeah. Yeah, I also agree. We are affectionate around each other too, around the kids, you know, appropriately. And not like Christine and sister wives.
Yeah.
But anyways, I got distracted with my dumb comment. But my kids, I think too, like I always wanted them to know that we loved each other as well. And we don't really argue a ton. We'll have some heated discussions very often, not super often, but a little sometimes. And I tend to be the one that gets heated more than Sean. And
I mean, same with me and Adam. Weird.
And I make sure that the kids know that when I am in the wrong, I will apologize, even to them. Like if I snapped at them, I'll come back to them and I'll be like, hey, I'm really sorry that I snapped at you, or that, you know, I accused you of this and it was wrong. Like I accused Edwin of something the other day and I found out it wasn't him. And I was like, hey, I'm really sorry I accused you of that. I found out it wasn't you and I apologize. You know, like, cause parents and grown-ups make mistakes too. Like we are not perfect, and I want them to know that. And I think it's really important that they know that grown-ups are not perfect, because they're not, and they make mistakes. And I think it's good that they see a healthy relationship, that it's okay to make mistakes and apologize to your significant other, and that you work as a team and work things out in a healthy way. So I think it's really important.
Yeah.
So we do that too.
Now, I will say that when Adam and I first got married, we might have been more like Christine. Because Ryan was 6, but Adam and I were newlyweds. So it's never really bothered Ryan when we kiss in front of each other, but it bothers our younger. They're always like, the younger, she's like, ew, gross. But Ryan's like, whatever. But probably because we're super like affectionate, you know, because we're like newlyweds. Not like inappropriately affectionate, but like, I mean, I know he caught us kissing like multiple times, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't French kiss in front of them, though.
Yeah. I mean, I don't
know. You're thinking pretty hard there.
I mean, maybe sometimes in the kitchen when they're not looking.
Well,
but
you might sneak one here or there when they're not looking.
Like sneak
either,
one, but not like my kids are like standing right in front of me and we're like,
yeah,
no, not like that.
That's gross.
That is gross. That makes me feel like comfortable. But also, like, my grandparents were that way in front of my mom. They were newlyweds, and like my grandparents got married, and they were like, my grandpa told the story of when he met my grandma, and she was divorced with 2 little kids in the 50s, so it was a big deal.
Yeah.
And my mom said she always felt different because people were like, your parents are divorced? Oh my gosh, that's so weird. It was like the late 50s, early 60s. So my grandma worked at the same company that my grandpa did, and there was this party, and my grandma at the time was dating like this really, really, really rich guy, like filthy rich, like trust fund baby. And he was willing to marry her. My grandma's like very good looking. He was willing to marry her, take care of her kids, send them off to boarding school, you know, like anyway. And then along came my grandpa, who was very cocky and very smart, well off, but not like rich. Anyway, so they were at this party for work, and my grandpa had taken a date, and he told me once, he's like, I saw across the room the most beautiful woman in the world. And I said to myself, I have to meet her and spend the rest of my life with her. And he's like, so I found a friend to introduce me. I gave the girl I came with a dime, told her to call her mom. And I went and I talked to your grandma. And like, I mean, and they just have like this epic like love story that lasted. Aww. Like when my grandma died, my uncle said that like one time they were cleaning out her house and they found like love notes between her and my grandpa. Aww. And like, just like the cutest little love notes. And so, but they were that way. Like they would like make out in front of my mom and they were just like even I remember them like kissing like passionately. And I was like, oh, they're old. And so like I always knew that they loved each other. But I always wanted to have like this passionate, like romance. But yeah, like he went, so then like there were these two guys kind of like arguing over her. And my grandpa one day, this guy I was like taking her in a cab somewhere and it was raining and my grandpa like went after her and like he like opened the door and was like, I love you. And my grandma was like, I was like, what did you do? She's like, I got out of the car and I went with him. And I was like, what did the other guy do? And she's like, he stared at your grandpa like he was insane. She's like, and then I closed the door. And I was like, what in the heck? This is like from a movie. God. But my grandpa always liked white carnation. He liked carnations. And I told my grandma one time, I was like, I love roses. She's like, your grandpa hated roses. She's like, he always liked carnations. And she's like, oh, that's because this other guy that she'd been dating, she's like, he always gave me 24 red roses all the time. She's like, oh, I bet that's why your grandpa never gave me roses. It's like 50 years later. Oh like, gosh. Anyway, so like that was something that I wanted. I wanted that like romance. But yeah, I feel like I got it.
That's good. I feel like I got mine too. I'm pretty darn lucky.
I mean, there's not many people who would marry a man with mutton chops.
That's very true. They were pretty hot back then, 12 years ago.
Oh, yeah, they were so in style. In the 1900s. Early 1900s.
I was like, it was 2000.
Maybe like the 12? 1800s. Possibly. I don't even know when mutton chops were in style, but I know that it probably was in 2012.
Well, you know what? He was very dapper.
I'm glad you guys found each other. When I first met Adam, I was like, man, he is so cute. He's so attractive. And then you start talking about football. I was like, he's a jock. Never mind. And then later, we started dating. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I thought you were super cute when I first saw you. He's like, oh, yeah? Why didn't you flirt with me? I was like, you were talking, and I realized you were a jock. So I was like...
You were talking.
You started talking. And he was like, ouch. And I was like, I mean, not ouch. Like, he just,
Yeah.
He's like, I know you wanted to marry a smart man. And I'm like, I did marry a smart guy. Just wasn't the kind of smart that I thought. Like, Adam can fix anything. Mechanical, carpentry, anything.
Yeah.
He's just not, like, he doesn't like English. He loves math. He's just not like this same kind of smart as me, which is nice because if we both were smart like me, then we'd have to pay someone to fix everything.
Yeah, Sean and I are kind of like that too. Like I don't know. Sometimes I think he thinks I'm stupid. But
I think sometimes Adam thinks that I think he's stupid.
But Sean is very, very smart and intelligent in like computer stuff and programming and all of those types of things. And I feel like
history.
And history. And he knows the most random weird crap. And I don't do that. I don't know random weird facts.
See, and I know random weird crap.
No, I have much more street smarts though.
That's like. Adam. Adam is very street smart.
I'm savvy. Much more like I have more intelligence with street smarts and more with like crafty things and like things like I have more knowledge on those types of things. And like creative processes of those, but like we're both artists though, so we both like have this artistic thing together. But his art stuff is computer art and my art stuff is like hands-on medium stuff like painting and things. But he can also paint, like he can paint and he can draw too, but he doesn't do the like crafting and the sewing and the like those types of things. So like my intelligence and stuff goes more towards those things and the street smart stuff than his and the other stuff. So
it's funny because like Adam writes me these beautiful love letters sometimes. And one time I tried to write one for him. And I'm a really good writer. I'm a creative writer.
You told this story.
Writing a book. Did I tell this story?
You did, yeah.
Yeah. And I am incapable of writing him love letters.
Yeah.
He's like, this is like the most wooden. So yeah, it's just interesting because but yeah, Adam and I are the same way. He's very like street smart. Mm-hmm. And there are times where he says things and I'm just like, okay, did you know that toilet seats are plastic or wood?
Me?
Yeah, did you know that?
Toilet seats?
Yeah.
Well, they're made of plastic.
Yes. Yeah. I thought they were like ceramic.
No.
Yes, I now know this.
Oh, yeah.
I learned this Saturday when we were shopping for a new toilet seat.
Do you know anybody that says, hey, can you hand me that ceramic bowl? Because nobody says that.
No, but I know people who say that. What was the word I said the other day that you were super upset over?
Oh. Bully? That's a stupid word. Nobody freaking says that word. I forgot to tell Sean you said that word. That was so dumb.
I said,
nobody says that word.
Well, bully for you. I say that word.
Nobody says that
obstinate.
Word. Okay, Sean says that word.
See, and that's why Sean and I are alike, and you and Adam are alike.
I say that word,
and it's a good word. You are obstinately against obstinate.
I hate that word.
Why?
And I say it now, but it's annoying. I refuse to say bully though, because that is a stupid word.
I mean, you know who says bully? People with mutton chops.
Yes, it's a dumb word. Nobody says that. You said it, and I was like, you've been talking to Sean.
No, I've always said that word. My dad used to say that word when he was like,
if you say that word, comment, because I want to know people in the world that actually say this word, because I don't know anybody but Kim and Sean that say this word.
My dad says it too.
Well,
like we'd be like, well, like one time I remember like one of my siblings was like, had failed some assignment or whatever, and they're like, well, I got a D on this other one. My dad's like, well, bully for you.
Oh my gosh, no.
So yeah,
Mercedes started going around saying it, and I was like, don't even start with me, kid.
I didn't even say it because Sean said it. I just randomly said it, and Hillary was very unhappy with me.
I was shocked. I was like, no, that is not a normal word.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were driving home, and Kit was in my car, and she was like, we were all talking about crushes. It was Mercedes, Kit, and I think I told you, but I can't remember. And she was like, okay, because she's like obsessed with Elvis.
Oh my gosh.
And Kit asked me, okay, who do you think is more handsome, Elvis or Sean?
They both kind of have the long sideburn thing going
and
there.
Mercedes goes, oh, Papa for sure. I was driving and I was just like dead silent.
Are you saying that you don't think Sean is better looking than Elvis?
You know what? And I love Sean dearly, and he is so handsome. But if I had to go by the handsome rater, I'm gonna have to say Elvis.
Oh, what about Elvis when he's older?
What do you mean?
He got ugly.
I don't know. Don't know. I'd have to look at a picture because I picture Elvis and I think of him as handsome. Like
in the 50s.
Yeah. But it was really funny because then and then Mercedes goes, okay, fine, Kit. Let's ask you. Who do you think is more handsome, Elvis or Adam? And Kit goes, I'm going to have to go with Elvis.
Kit is brutally honest.
It's so funny.
So yeah, so when Kit says something nice to me, I'm like, oh, you really mean it, because she would not. Like one day I asked Adam, I was like, how do I look? And he was like, good. And Kit's like, I don't like that shirt. And I was like, excuse me? She's like, I just think you have other shirts that look better on you than that shirt. And Adam was like, yeah, probably. So yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah. She's so funny. I was rolling. I never answered the question either in the car.
Oh, poor Sean.
Well, and then we got home and I was telling Sean about it, and Mercedes was like, yeah, I told her you were way more handsome. And Sean's like, have you seen a picture of Elvis? Elvis is 100 more times more handsome than I.
Mercedes is loyal to a fault.
She is. It was the cutest thing.
Kid is a realist. Kid's not that sensitive.
No.
Or not sentimental. I feel like Mercedes is very sentimental.
She is, yeah.
Kid is like, let's be real here.
Yeah. She is. Oh man. And then, oh my gosh, she was cracking me up because she's like, okay, so try to guess my other two crushes. That's my celebrity crush. Now these are my other two crushes.
Her celebrity crush is Elvis?
Yes.
I mean, I guess I'm not surprised. She talks about him all the time.
Yeah.
She asked me to download his CD.
Yeah. She's like, that's my celebrity crush. Now you have to guess my two crushes in my real life. And I'm like, okay. So then I guess the one, because they're from church. And I was like, okay, is the other one from church or school? And she's like, from school. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, okay, do they have this color of hair? Do they have that color of hair? And she's like telling me yes, no, whatever. And then eventually I'm like, okay, like, da-da-da-da, is it this kid, this kid, this kid? And she's like, nope. Finally, I'm like, hey, give up, kid. Kid, who is it? And she's like, well, I don't know his name. Like, the crap, kid, how am I guessing the kid's name? You don't know.
She was hoping that if you said it, it would spark like a memory of like her once having heard it.
She's like, I can describe to you exactly what he looks like.
It's just funny because the kid from church that she has a crush on looks nothing like Elvis.
No, he does not. And the kid that she kept describing, though, I think is Eli.
Oh.
I know. And I was like, oh man, your mom is not going to be happy if that's who it is. So I'm going to have her point him out to me at school on Wednesday.
Is he in the ancient history class?
Yes. And her math class. He's in 3rd grade with her.
I don't think he's in our math class, though.
No? Okay. Well, then maybe not. But he's in her math class and her ancient history class.
I'm trying to think.
And his hair pushes his ears down like this much. And it's like a dark brown or something like her hair.
Okay, well now we're gonna have to.
That's like all I know. But she doesn't know his name.
That
I was
is
guessing
so
for like 10
funny.
minutes. It was like, seriously, kid, come on.
Now that you mention it, I actually don't know his name.
Yeah.
That's like Ryan. Ryan went to a dance, and I was like, "Who do you dance with?" And he's like, "Oh, some girl." And his friend James was like, yeah, he danced with a girl. And I was like, oh, what was her name? And Ryan's like, I don't know. And James was like, her name was Elizabeth. Were you dancing with them, James? And he's like, no. And he was like, but I asked her. And Ryan's like, was her name Elizabeth? And James is like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. And I was like, did you just not talk to her the whole time? And he's like, well, I asked her name. I just couldn't hear her. And I was like, did you ask her anything else? He's like, I know what school she goes to. I was like, but you did ask her name? And he's like,
pretty sure.
Maybe I didn't, but I know that I asked her what school she goes to.
Oh my god!
I was like, Ryan, that's really creepy and weird. Like, so yeah.
Goodness. Yeah, she cracks me up. Yeah,
all of my kids are crazy.
Yeah, Mercedes was telling her crushes too. And then I was like, okay, you got to guess my celebrity crushes now too. And so they were guessing mine. And I was like, one's from a TV show, one's from a movie. And they're like, do I know this movie? It's like, Mercedes, you've seen the movie. Okay, I don't think you have. And the Mercedes, they were guessing the movie. And it was from Lord of the Rings. And then she goes, Gandalf. Freaking no, idiot!
Kids said Gandalf. Because like kids never seen Lord of the Rings, so she probably just said Gandalf. Because
no, Mercedes said Gandalf. And
she's like, well, no. you like men with beards, like Dad. So.
And they're both laughing in the back, and then she goes, Gandalf the gray or Gandalf the white, and I was like, no.
You like when his hair is flat and shiny white, and he wears the glowy robe.
Oh my goodness,
Mrs. Like, Gandalf.
And I was like, no, I'll give you another clue. It's like, you always call him the wrong name. And she goes, Zelda. Yes, Legolas. Like, but his real name's Orlando Bloom. Oh man,
Kit, that makes sense because Kit asked me who my celebrity crush was. I didn't tell her.
No,
mine is Chris Pine. So, yeah.
My other one was from Doctor Who.
David Tennant. Kid asked me if I had a crush on him. She's like, are you in love with David Tennant? Is that why you like him so much as the Doctor? And I was like, no. He's way too skinny for me. But I like Chris Pine. He actually reminds me, like, I like him in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Which he kind of reminds me of Adam in that. And the other one is Luke Evans. I think Luke Evans is really good looking.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah. Which I told my sister that one time and she laughed. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah. So, but he always has that, like, cocky, like.
Oh, I was telling them when I was a kid, though, because Mercedes at first was laughing that she had a crush on Elvis. And I was like, dude, when I was a kid, I had a crush on JTT, you know? And I was like,
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
And they were like,
yes.
Who are they? And I was like,
Casper.
Yeah, I was like, have you seen Casper? And Kit was like, yeah. I was like, the one where he turns into a human at the end? Yeah, that kid. That's who I had a crush on.
Yep.
And then I had a crush on, and they didn't know who JTT was. But I was like, Lion King? Simba's voice.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Everyone our age had a crush on him.
So I was like, don't make fun of her. I was like, kids have crushes on celebrities all the time.
I had a huge crush on Orlando Bloom.
Yeah.
Especially when he was in Pirates.
Yeah, he was very, very nice looking in that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I liked him in that. But no. And then Princess Diaries 2 came out. And had Chris Pine. And I was like, oh, hello. But he really does, remind me of Adam in a lot of his movies. Like, Adam has that very cocky, like, oh.
I was going to be like Adam Sandler. But he's not cute. Well, he's kind of cute in like a dorky way, but not like in a handsome way.
So when I lived with my roommate, who you know, but I will not say by name because it might embarrass her.
Mm-hmm.
But my friend. I wrote a story for her. It was called what was it called? Carterville Love Stories. We lived on Carterville Road. Anyway, I wrote her this whole entire story about two guys from church who were like fighting over her. Anyway, one of them was like Adam. And then I took pictures of like celebrities and like made her this like storybook. And one of them was Adam Sandler. He was like the jokester guy. And then the other one was some other guy from the ward. And who was another guy that she didn't like. And then in the end, this hero came. And it was like Lord Septimus, and he was the seventh son of someone. And it was
Gandalf.
It was Gandalf, yes. No, it was, who was it? It's the guy from, I don't remember his name. But anyway, it's a really good looking guy who's really tall. And like not too long after that, her now husband moved into the ward. And she was like talking to him, and she was like, he's the seventh son. But he kind of looks like Adam Sandler. And he's funny like him. But I mean, think about it. You know who I'm talking about, right? Don't you think he kind of looks like Adam Sandler?
No.
I always
thought he's funny like him.
He is funny like him. Anyway, I just always thought it was funny because she was like, he's the seventh son. They did get married, and now they have 3 children, not 7.
Yeah.
But yeah. I have that story somewhere. I wrote like a few of them. But like just for fun. We had so much fun writing them.
Oh man.
But it was funny. Every time I wrote one for one of my friends, they would like end up getting married not long after that. And they were like, when are you going to write yours? I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. But
you were the marriage book writer.
I was.
We had the marriage apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were roommates in this apartment, and then my roommate Anya got married, and then Jalen moved in, and then I got married, and then Danita got married, and then Jalen got married. Like,
yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Mm-hmm.
I became someone's friend, and then they got married. Like, seriously, I was in a group of friends. There were, like, I don't know, 10 of us. And, like, actually, there were probably, like, 12 or 13 of us. But then, like, 10 of them paired off and got married.
Wow.
Within, like, a year.
Dang.
And then I moved to Utah and joined another group of friends. One was, Lauren. And then she got married. And then my other roommate got married. And then our friend Jenny got married. And then another roommate got married. And then my friend Candace, it had always been like me and her. Mm-hmm. Even when she was dating someone, like it was like me and her and whoever she was dating. And we were just like always together. And at like one point she was dating a guy and I was like dating his best friend, you know? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I introduced her to her now husband. And then when she got married, I was like, now I'm truly alone. But, and she was like, I just think it's going to work out for you. I think soon. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then 6 months later, I met Adam. And then we got married. So it did happen. But yeah. But like, I mean, I went through so many friends. And sometimes it literally felt like every time I made a friend, they got married. Mm-hmm. So some of them I introduced to their friends. Or their husbands, like. Yeah. So.
Yep.
But yeah.
So make time for yourself.
Oh my gosh, we totally got off track. We were making time for ourselves and what we wanted to talk about. Which was, I don't know, random feralness.
Yes. Oh man.
Hopefully it was funny.
Yeah, hopefully
it was entertaining.
A little bit. Hopefully.
Welcome to the random thoughts of Kim and Hillary.
Yes, late night.
So remember to make time for yourself.
And your husband.
Yes. And you together.
Yes.
Practice self-care.
And love.
And love. Eat chocolate. Paint your toenails.
And drink Diet Coke.
Take a shower or bath. Drink Diet Coke. Remember to breathe. Sometimes forget about the laundry piles. It'll still be there when you're done relaxing.
Yes.
And remember, if you're a mess,
you're not alone.
You're feral. I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Hillary.
And we're the Feral Housewives.
Being a housewife is darn hard. I don't even know where to start. But when times are tough and things get rough, it's a good thing we've got our best friends by our side. Laundry couches are a must. Baking cookies is a bust. Unconventional moms are the bomb. Put the kids to bed, listen. Two feral housewives raising kids. Two feral housewives dealing with life.